Hello, failure, my old friend. Everybody should recognize this thing. Let's find out what it's doing back here in just a second. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man, and the sick 1650 is no longer here. It went home. I got that, I hope, straightened out for him forever after finally putting a standpipe in the tank, draining all his gas out and filtering it and putting it back. I think he's in business. And then I got a call about this thing, which we worked on, and it started out as it was dripping out of the compensator. And so I got O-rings and I was going to go over and put that in. Then they decided they were going to try to use it to do some hay, and it immediately started leaking. Anytime it gets near a hay field, that's it. It's had enough. And this time, what it did, I have the new hose loosely put on, so this isn't what was here. It had a 90-degree adapter and then a straight hose, and it was leaking out of that adapter. And then they got a new adapter and put it on, and they called and said, it's still leaking, we're just going to bring it to you. So I do know that when I took the old line off, it was hand tight. So I don't know if they didn't get it all tightened up when they put the new piece on, but whatever. We're going to start over. So I'm going to put O-ring on here so that this doesn't drip. I had this hose made, so we'll put that on, and then we'll fill it with oil, and then we'll see if we can get it to do something, because I am about at my wit's end with it. There's really no reason why we should be having these issues. But there again, I didn't do any work with it, so hopefully we're honing in on the problem. I suppose while it's empty with oil, I should take back out the valve and make sure that there's no trash or anything, and I don't know. And then we'll check the pressure again before we're done. And I am starting to suspect that maybe we need to disassemble the whole compensator whilst we take this out, just to see that there's not some kind of trash or something in it that's keeping it from regulating correctly, or that it's spiking the pressure. And then I also think that when I send it back this next time, I'm not going to have it turned all the way up, because they really don't need 2400 psi to unfold a hay rake. So that's pretty well all the tractor does anymore, other than power takeoff on an auger. So if turning it down a shade helps eliminate our problem, I am not opposed to doing that either. But we need to get some stuff and clean this all up again, because as we see, now it is all covered with oil again. So yeah, I drained out what little oil was left in it, and that's where we stand. So I suppose we could start by pulling the compensator apart, seeing what it looks like in there. 2, 3, 4. All right. Let's put our, it's pretty well empty. I think I need to get the needle nose pliers again to get that plunger pulled out of there. Or will it come out on its own? Come on out of there. Come on out of there, yeah. I had to have the pocket screwdriver, as you recall, on Mighty Whitey. Jeez. We're gonna need more tools. I can't do it with what we got here. As per usual, starting a project unprepared. And it may interest you people to know who don't believe that the service truck runs. It does in fact run. I drove it up here last night to inflate the tire on Mighty Whitey and got that unhooked, and the tractor parked down so I can work on that at some point. Yeah. Now, what would work best to get this out of there? Let's try some picks first. Let's get that little plunger out, which ain't much. I'm thinking I'm gonna pull this whole thing off of here, because I'm not satisfied with what I'm seeing in there. So now would be a good time to do that whilst it's empty and no oil is in it. So I'll get some Allen headed stuff and go again. Oh, are you the size? Hallelujah. I don't have to run around again and again. Oh, awesome. I thought we were going to twist them off. That would be super fun too. You know, that's just what we need. I'm tempted to start switching every piece one at a time with mine and seeing if I can figure out which thing is the thing that's causing our problem. This has went on for a long time, and it shouldn't. And I'm wondering if this is the problem inside of here, because I'm not getting that little spool out. There. I wonder if that O-ring is the same O-ring as what I got in this little baggie here. And then there's an O-ring there. Okay. We're going to take a short intermission. We are going to look in the parts book and double check some things and see what I got on hand. So that's where we're going to leave it for just a minute. All right, in typical fashion, much time has passed. So we're going to get back to this now. And the best thing we can do is probably just stab our hand, but no, we'll get it. Get this crappy O-ring off of here. Boy, if that don't look like the same size. I'm tempted to put her on there. I got two of them. I think it is. I'm gonna make that happen. You can't see everything, but you don't need to. So, that is in fact an O-ring. And it is in fact very flat. Come on out of there. That little pressure O-ring is flat too, but I don't know that I have one of those. All right. So far, I have seen nothing. The little plunger on the plunger inside the compensator was kind of sticky, maybe. So that might have, I cleaned it up. Maybe that will help. Although I would think that if anything, you would have no pressure as opposed to too much pressure. Although I guess it's possible that it could get stuck midway through like the stroke or something, you know. So I don't know. We're grasping for straws at this point. I've never had a tractor give me as much trouble as this one. And the more I think about it, well, it'll work. Is it gonna work? Nope. That's what I feared. We're gonna have to go find another O-ring for this little feller, because it just ain't gonna play ball. So the service truck is close by. We'll go do that real quick. All right, all we can do is totally destroy everything, but I think we're in good shape. We got more better stuff now. We're gonna hope that this works anyway, because I sure don't know what else to do. We got to get the leaks stopped enough to see what our problems are. I had a theory that perhaps part of our issue was that the steering was causing heat in the system, but they drove this up and down the road for quite a few miles the day that it blew. And it didn't blow until they hooked it to that stupid hay rake. Anytime it gets near a hay field, it says, no, I'm not doing it. All right. Let's spray this in the wind. Why am I doing this, you ask? Well, I want to dry all this garbage up. And that's the best way to do it. If I can dry all that oil off of there, then hopefully here in a minute we'll be able to tell when and where it's leaking now. Alright. We also need to put our drain plug back in. But we'll do that in a second. I thought last time that I had drilled and pinned this like you're supposed to with a cotter pin, but maybe I didn't. Also, now would be an excellent time to plumb my gauge back in while there's no oil in it. Don't you think we're gonna do that? I don't know. Let's see here. I'm not a fan of how this turned out, but it'll be fine. I don't think they have the hydraulic cover anymore anyway, so. Jeez. Here lately, the wind picks up just at the wrong time and just enough to be annoying. And it's starting to do that again right now. Okay, well, we got that. I see from my filters, the tractor was here in September last year, so got out of there. All right. And it is a lot better than it was last time. I mean, last time it leaked every place imaginable. And right now, the only thing I really see is, you know, what has been from here, because it was spraying up and it coated all of this with oil when it was running. So it's hard to just psych yourself up to mess with it because it's so depressing. But do I want to put in my gauge now? I pretty well have to, because I have messed up all the settings. And I bet I don't have the right one of these anymore. Nope. So I'll have to find that. Have to find get our gauge back, and yeah, put our drain plug in and fill her with oil. I do know that when they were running it out of oil, because what first started with the trouble, like I said, was it had a steady drip from here and it was leaking the oil out. And I'm wondering if this last time blowing the line wasn't a fluke, and the reason being, when they put more oil in, they didn't bleed out the system. And if it was low enough, maybe it had air trapped in there, and that made it get really hot. And that's what caused her to go this time. Because like I said, they used it all this time, from September till now, which is the middle of June, and it was fine. So, I don't know. We'll get, yeah, let's put the gauge in and then get her full of oil again. Is this the right size for these? I hope. Because I can't find now my socket that size for some reason. Oh, bless America. Shoot. I'm not sure that that is the right size either. Oh. I just want this to go. Will this go? We need to have a tool cleanup day where I go through all of my vehicles and get the tools back in the service truck where they belong. Because I've robbed tools out of everywhere, man. All right, there's that. We'll get our drain plug back in. Now we gotta fill her with oil, which is always our joy of joys. I just dearly love filling these with oil. But that's it. Some people say no sealant on pipe threads, but I got news for you. They will leak. And I also hear people screaming, no Teflon tape! Who's ever had a first-hand account of something that happened because of Teflon tape? You hear about it all the time, but I've never really seen any of the damage, so, you know. I don't necessarily, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I'm saying that if you have your wits about you, I think it'll be fine. I mean, don't go overboard with your Teflon tape. All right, we're ready for oil. And I got one bucket here somewhere or another. I am not putting back in what they put in to bring it here because it is a sloppy mess and it was too thin. It was like 32 weight oil. So we're not doing that. I got buckets of premium. Oh, I'm sitting on a bucket of premium. Okay, good. This is so much favorite. We just love this. This part is grand. And this tractor, the whatchamacallit, is all bent, so it's right in your way. I might have to straighten that for them, because the one who brought it did complain that that was ridiculous. And I said that's because it's all bent, and it's not right at all. Okay. I wonder how much of my life I've spent doing this. Let's stop with that. Is there oil on the stick? Clap your hands. Nope. Seems like there ought to be. Hopefully we don't have a major leak internally. No, you don't. I see it down in there, but it doesn't even get my tip wet. So more is in order. I think we're in bed enough now, fellers. Oh yeah, she's juiced up now. We must bleed out the air before we go do anything. I didn't bring them pliers. Listen to that sucking air right there. It's gonna take it a minute to fill this old filter housing. You wouldn't think that it could actually airlock, but it can. That's why we do this. And another bad problem, which we can discuss later, this being an early tractor, that hydraulic cooler pump is mounted higher than the reservoir, technically, so when it gets low on oil, it can in fact get air in the system if that pump is leaking. And that is another suspect I have, possibly, but I'm not real sure how we're going to test that theory. We're starting to get oil. A nice steady stream, which is what you want. Okay, do we have everything now? I think we're ready to start. How about you keep an eye on that gauge, and I'll try not to get myself run over here. But we'll see if we can get her fired up. Oh, that's right. They told me the starter also quit working part way. And it doesn't work all the time. What fun, friends. What fun. I'm thinking that it still has a little air in it. I'm gonna try to let some out and see if it... Yep, there it is, air. It just gurgled quite a bit. Hydraulic oil is known to cause cancer in the state of California. I think it is actually deadly if you get it in your blood, but oh well. I can't live forever. So we'll just wash it off with environmentally friendly brake clean. That'll really help us out. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to pull some more stuff back apart and see if we have got more issues again or what's going on, because now this time I cannot get it to... Last time we had her set where it wasn't blowing the relief valve until it was like, you know, 2450 or so, and I think I had the running pressure set at like 2200 or so, and now I can't even get much past 1500 and you can hear the relief valve start to blow. So we're gonna have to figure that situation out, because it's definitely, I would say that's what happened, is it started blowing the relief valve again, and we ended up having way too much pressure, and that heated up the line and just self-destructed her again. But why it does not stay, I do not understand that. I don't understand why it's not staying where I put it, or at least the yeah, I don't understand, unless we broke some stuff in there again. Very interesting situation. It could be that this compensator's no good, but I can't get parts for it as far as I know. They're discontinued everywhere, so I'm gonna have to do some checking on that, see. But we are, in fact, on the right road. At least it's not leaking anywhere right at this moment, which for this tractor is a huge win. That's probably enough for a video, because I think I got like an hour's worth of footage here recorded. Not saying that it was interesting, but at least we got it back to where it is drivable, and we can further our testing and see. Just from that short time running, I think everything is kind of, like, I think the pump is kind of hot, but I do think it still had air in it a second ago, and so that should help with that. But yeah, we're gonna have to just play with it and see. Maybe I can come up with some job for it to do around here and see if I can't get her to come to pieces, you know. So, but I think that's where we'll leave it. So, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.